Have you ever wondered how that super cheap t-shirt or that incredibly affordable electronic gadget is even possible? You see them everywhere, flooding online marketplaces and discount store shelves. The prices seem too good to be true, and often they are. But the real cost isn't on the price tag. It's paid by someone, somewhere else. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the world of ultra-low-cost production and uncover the hidden price of cheap. It starts with a simple economic principle. Everyone loves a bargain. And for decades, the global economy has been built on delivering those bargains. Companies moved their manufacturing to countries where labor was cheaper, regulations were looser, and production costs were a fraction of what they were at home. On the surface, this looks like a win-win. We get affordable products, and developing economies get jobs and investment. For a while, that was the story we were told. We saw charts showing global trade skyrocketing, with goods flowing across oceans like never before. It was hailed as the triumph of globalization. But let's look closer. What happens when a flood of these ultra-cheap imports arrives in a local market? Imagine you're a small business owner. You run a factory that's been in your family for generations, making quality furniture, textiles, or maybe even simple household tools. You pay your workers a fair wage, you adhere to local safety standards, and you use sustainable materials. You're proud of your work. Then, one day, a container ship arrives. It's filled with products that look just like yours, but they sell for half the price. How can you possibly compete? Your customers, understandably looking for the best deal, start buying the cheaper alternative. Your sales drop. First by a little, then a lot. You're forced to make tough decisions. Maybe you cut costs, but there's only so much you can cut without sacrificing quality or your workers' pay. Eventually, you can't keep the lights on anymore. The factory that supported dozens of families in your community closes its doors. This isn't just a hypothetical story. It's a reality that has played out in countless towns and cities around the world. We've all seen the images. Once thriving industrial hubs now dotted with abandoned factories, their windows shattered and gates rusted shut. These aren't just buildings. They're the ghosts of lost livelihoods, of communities that had their economic heart ripped out. When a local industry collapses, it creates a ripple effect. The factory workers lose their jobs. The local suppliers who provided raw materials go out of business. The corner store where workers bought their lunch sees its customer base disappear. The entire local economy begins to crumble. The promise was that global supply chains would make everyone more prosperous. But these chains are more fragile than we think. What happens when the country that produces everything for cheap suddenly faces a crisis? A natural disaster, a political upheaval, or even a health emergency can snap those supply chains in an instant. Suddenly, shelves in our stores are empty. The products we've become dependent on are nowhere to be found. We realize that by outsourcing everything, we've also outsourced our resilience. We've put all our eggs in one basket, located thousands of miles away. The pursuit of cheaper, above all else, creates a race to the bottom. To keep prices impossibly low, something has to give. Often, it's human dignity. Workers in these overseas factories can face grueling conditions, working incredibly long hours for wages that are barely enough to survive. Safety regulations are often ignored to cut costs, leading to tragic and preventable accidents. The environment also pays a steep price. Polluting manufacturing processes, the immense carbon footprint of shipping goods across the globe, and a throwaway culture fueled by cheap, disposable products all contribute to a growing environmental crisis. That $10 shirt might not cost you much, but it costs the planet dearly. So, what are we seeing? We're seeing a system where the profits are concentrated in the hands of a few multinational corporations, while the true costs, social, economic, and environmental, are externalized. They're paid by the factory worker with no rights, the local business owner who lost everything, and by future generations who will inherit a depleted planet. The very system designed to connect us has, in many ways, created deep and painful divides. But it's not all doom and gloom. There is a growing awareness of these issues, and people are starting to demand change. A powerful movement is underway, one that prioritizes a different set of values: quality over quantity, durability over disposability, and people over profit. It's the buy local movement. It's the push for ethical manufacturing and fair trade. When you choose to buy from a local artisan, a neighborhood business, or a company that is transparent about its supply chain, you're doing more than just making a purchase. You're casting a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. You're investing in your own community. You're helping to rebuild the local economic fabric that has been torn apart. That money doesn't just vanish into a corporate spreadsheet. It circulates locally. It pays for a neighbor's salary, supports a local supplier, and helps fund community schools and services. This shift in thinking requires us to redefine our relationship with stuff. Instead of buying 5 cheap shirts that fall apart after a few washes, what if we invested in one high-quality shirt, made ethically and locally, that lasts for years? It might cost more upfront, but it's a better investment in the long run, for you, for the maker, and for the planet. We need to move away from a culture of mindless consumption and embrace one of mindful ownership. This isn't about shutting down global trade or becoming isolationist. It's about finding a balance. It's about building more resilient, diversified, and humane supply chains. It's about demanding that companies take responsibility for their entire production process, from the raw material to the final product. As consumers, we hold incredible power. Every dollar we spend is a signal to the market. By consciously choosing where our money goes, we can collectively push companies to do better. So the next time you're faced with a product that seems unbelievably cheap, take a moment to ask why. What's the hidden cost? Who is paying for it? And is there a better choice you can make? Supporting local and ethical businesses might seem like a small act, but when millions of us do it, it creates a powerful force for change. We can rebuild our local industries, one thoughtful purchase at a time. We can create an economy that is not only prosperous, but also just and sustainable for everyone. Thank you for watching. If this topic resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the forces that shape our world. And let us know in the comments, how do you try to support local or ethical businesses in your life? We'd love to hear your thoughts.